It's Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have Transformers The Last Knight Voyager class Optimus Prime. Going over the packaging, it's essentially the same as the Deluxes, just larger. And it's mainly just wider, not quite so much taller. But you have a nice picture of Optimus on the side. Love that they have the artwork there. And then you have a full image of him on this side, and then at the very bottom you have a picture of the figure as well as the other Voyager in this first wave of Last Knight figures, that being Grimlock. I didn't pick up Grimlock. I'm not a big fan of the movie Dinobots to begin with, and you know, these Dinobots for the most part are all just repaints, so I have no interest in them. But I was interested in this Optimus Prime figure. Going over his actual vehicle mode here, as you can see, looking really nice. He transforms into a very compact, very cool looking, you know, like Mack truck. I believe it's Mack, but yeah, it looks great. He has a nice Autobot symbol right there. The flames are all painted on very evenly. And as you can see, they're well done. My biggest issue is, you know, these flames are quite nice on the vehicle, but there's no flames on the robot mode where it should be. So that's very disappointing, unfortunately. And on the back, you know, sometimes these cab areas can look quite bad. However, this one looks quite nice. You can see like his little front piece right here, but that's the only kind of like piece of the robot on there, and it's pretty well filled in. There is some gaps, but it's not anything major, which is great. And on the bottom, as you can see, it looks quite good. My only issue with this is when you sit it down, it's not quite even. See, as you can see, you know, it doesn't have all the wheels on the ground at the same time, which is very annoying. And when I transformed this the first time, the same thing happened, and I thought, well, maybe there's just something out of place. And I went over it, and I really couldn't find anything. But I figured, you know, there must just be something out of place. So I transformed it back a few days later, you know, to do this review. Transformed it back again, and the same thing happened again. So it's definitely just a flaw in the design, because everything is tabbed in exactly where it should be, and the same thing happens both times. So very annoying, and that is definitely disappointing. However, the vehicle mode itself is quite nice. It does look like a very cool truck, and definitely, you know, pretty perfect to represent Optimus Prime's alt mode. Alright, so to transform them, what you're going to want to do is start with popping up this cab section right here. It just pops right up like that. You want to take the door panels, split them, send them just kind of to the side there. Once we get some more clearance, we can put them on the back. But again, just pop it open. With this back section, just kind of pop these two pieces out of place. Take one of them, rotate it down. It doesn't, you know, peg in anywhere. It just rotates down to the bottom like that. Then you can come up here, and with this cab section, just kind of want to split the front cab. There you go. And then split the top of the cab from the bottom. So there you go, just like that. And this transformation is quite nice. I do like it. I will say just to that I've had to read the instructions both times while doing it, because you have to really kind of position the arms in a specific manner. But you know, it's pretty easy, which is nice. You can just move these pieces up, revealing his full hands. And then this section is attached to this little back piece here. So on this hinge, you're going to want to move it, and it's tabbed in right here. So you want to unpeg it from there, and then just rotate it all the way back. There you go. Same thing on this side. Then take this entire section basically at the legs, and then just rotate them down. Rotate this down. You can get these out of the way now. Alright, and with the feet, what you want to do is rotate it down, rotate this entire assembly, and then put it back. As you can see, there's a peg at the foot that pegs into the to the leg there. Now this section is kind of annoying. What you want to do, the goal here is, well, first of all, just move this up like this. But what you want to do is get to this hole here. Needs to peg into, let's see, this peg right here. So you just want to rotate it. It's at a ball joint and a hinge, so you just kind of want to rotate it up like this. And I'll get there. It's so hard to do. Like, I haven't found a pattern. There you go. You just kind of have to play with it until you can get it into place. There you go. Perfect. Same thing on this side. Rotate it down. Swing the assembly. And then if you didn't see it the first time, there's the peg and there's the hole. So you just want to put it in there. There you go. Rotate it. And then this section, rotate this around. go. And then that just pegs into place. So then the legs are essentially complete. However, you do want to rotate the entire assembly. There you go, just like that. With this backpack piece, you want to rotate it back. There are 2 pegs, as you can see right there. The two holes right there, and then there's 2 pegs to go up high for this one. 2 pegs just right on here. So you just want to kind of peg them in. And it can be annoying because this little piece, there you go. You have to get, if you didn't see that, you have to get this section that's hanging down in between the 2 car doors so that then the pegs can reach the back, and then it just pegs right in like that. The arms rotate out. You can just kind of rotate them down, unpeg the shoulder pads and swing them forward. This just, you want to get the shoulder section popped into there. Do the same thing. Unpeg, boom, bend the arms, flip up the head, move the torso up. There you go, just pop it into place. Move the chest plates up. There you go, just like that. Kind of neat that the chest plates transform. I can't imagine they really get in the way, but I guess they must. Whoa, and then the legs are all backwards. There we go. Alright, and you have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Let's adjust the camera here a little bit. Alright, so here he is. As you can see, I do like this design quite a bit. I think that it's definitely an improvement on some of the other primes, especially from Age of Extinction. It's an improvement on the Voyager as well as on the leaders, because the leaders were pretty bad. So this looks excellent. And it's also the first Voyager Prime that we're getting from Hasbro in his new design. There wasn't a Voyager Prime in this new design from Age of Extinction, so it is nice to get it from this movie. As you can see, the paint is interesting. They use like this dark gray in a lot of places, and then they use silver, it's like kind of sparingly, like where there is silver, they just have like a chunk of silver and then a chunk of gray, you know, chunk of silver, chunk of gray. They didn't meld them well, which is unfortunate. You know, I'd be okay adding or using the gray if it was just kind of put in a more natural and better stance. However, it's very blocky the way that they did the paint, which seems to be the case for all of these Age of Extinction figures. My biggest issue with them is the paint. Their paint is very blocky, but the actual designs of the figures, quite nice. I have to say, it's quite a compact car, or quite a compact robot. As you can see, the legs look very good. They bulk up towards the back, but it doesn't look bad. The backpack section is very thin on his back, and it really doesn't hang down that far, which is great. You can see it, you know, behind him, but it's not a big deal. Then the arms just look excellent, and they do still have like a piece of the car on them, which is nice. I always like seeing that. You know, I don't like it if the arms just look like they're straight up, you know, stored inside the car, so I do like that. The shoulder pads, huge improvement from both of the leader primes from Age of Extinction. These look great. They're more natural, and they're better to get out of your way and everything too. They just look excellent. The blue on him is quite nice. You have kind of this shiny blue in many places, like here in the head, and then you have more of a metallic blue on the arms, the chest, and the collarbone section, and it does look quite good. As far as his articulation goes, he has a ball jointed head, which works nicely. Ball hinge shoulders that are kind of on a butterfly joint. They're not supposed to be, but these sections can pop out, so you can obviously swing it forward for some extra articulation. The shoulder pads are on a hinge, and it swivels as well, which is great. Bicep swivel, hinge elbows, just a single hinge. Goes a little more than 90 degrees though, which is nice. No wrist articulation, which is a shame. Torso swivels, ball jointed thighs with a thigh swivel, single hinge knees that don't go 90 degrees, which is very disappointing. And then the ankles have no articulation, which is definitely disappointing. Would have liked a bit of an ankle pivot there. However, they are positioned in a nice manner, and the back, you know, basically the feet are from this gray piece all the way over here. So his feet are quite large. So even though he doesn't have any ankle articulation, he is very stable, which is quite nice. Going over his accessories. Now his accessories I've modified because I plan on modifying this entire figure. I've actually bought a second one and it's on its way, and this one I'm actually going to do a complete repaint on, you know, to add silver mainly, to get rid of the gray, and I've already done it with the with his accessories. So this isn't the paint that you're going to get on his accessories, but he obviously has a sword, and the one that you get in the with this figure is that the base is this gray color, and it extends up here, and then the blade itself is orange. So I've obviously repainted it to something more accurate and just cooler in general. But as you can see, Looks quite nice. The sword, the sculpt of the sword is very cool. And I do still like the orange. I think the orange is neat. Although it's not accurate, it still looks very cool. And then his shield, same thing. Now his shield is really crappy. Let's see if I can... yeah, there you go. You can see it on the back there a bit. And this actually looks much better than what you actually get. What you actually get is a gray shield that has this very bright, and I'm talking bright light blue on it, and it doesn't even fade out like it is on this packaging. It is just, you know, splotches of bright blue, and it's super light. It's very annoying. I've again repainted it to something more accurate and just cooler in general. And this just pegs onto his arm. So, you know, the regular paint of the sword is perfectly fine. It looks very cool. And the regular paint of the shield sucks. So you basically, but the sculpt on both of them are very nice. They're not oversized or anything like that. And he looks very good holding them. But with the more accurate paint, it just looks really cool. So I think that he does look nice. And I'm still adjusting some of the paint on the shield. But for the most part, that's where everything is going to be placed. So yeah, so I'm very excited to do a repaint on this figure. I think it's going to be fun, and I hope that it turns out pretty neat. My issue is that there's no fire paint on like his chest where there should be, and that's something that I'm not going to add. You know, trying to add a fire, trying to like paint fire on it will just not come out well. You know, I need some sort of stencil to do that, so I'm not going to paint the fire. But it is a shame that Hasbro didn't either, so even with my repaint, it's still not gonna be great there. But overall, can't wait to add some silver on him. I think that's gonna just look really cool and do some blue details. I'm giving you a little comparison here with some of the other Voyager Optimus Primes from the past. This one, that's like, I can't remember what the line was called, but it was kind of like a line in between Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. So that's considered, I believe, like the best Voyager Optimus Prime that there is. And then there's the Dark of the Moon Voyager Optimus Prime. Dark of the Moon Voyager I actually like. I think it's very neat. It has some funky proportions, but I think that it kind of looks cool that way. But overall, this is a really solid Voyager class Optimus Prime. It's obviously not as intricate as this one. You know, most of the paneling for the car is on his back, or, you know, just kind of on the back of his limbs. While this one, his limbs kind of transformed into the car, which is obviously what you ideally want. But overall, I think it still looks very nice. And that's not necessarily to say that Hasbro's gotten lazy over the years. It's more of the design of the cars, or design of the robots. The robots' designs have become more unrealistic, basically. You know, they're more smoother, they have more rounded parts, they don't really transform into their car parts like they used to in the first three films. So it's more of the design of the robots themselves, not entirely just Hasbro's being cheap. So overall, I think this is a solid Optimus Prime figure. I do like it a lot. If you like this design of Optimus Prime, this is the best one on the market so far, and it's probably the best one that we're going to have. As far as like a Hasbro Dakara type of version, it's the best one that we have, because the next one that comes out, we have a leader coming out, but it's just a repaint of the Age of Extinction one, and the Age of Extinction Optimus Primes are pretty bad. So so this is definitely going to be your best bet if you want a non-third-party Optimus Prime in this style, basically. So there you go. That's my review of the Transformers Voyager class Optimus Prime figure from the last night. Let me know what you guys think of this figure, and thanks so much for watching.